This is Annuity Straight Talk. Since 2008, your host, Bryan Anderson, has helped clients nationwide navigate the complex market for annuities. With Bryan's assistance, hundreds of clients have achieved a profitable and secure retirement. I would know, because Bryan has answered many of my questions concerning annuities and retirement planning. So that you can benefit as well, let's get started. Here's Bryan.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Annuity Straight Talk podcast, episode number 95, following the 4th of July. My name is Bryan Anderson, your host and founder of AnnuityStraightTalk.com. Remind everyone who's been here and introduce everyone who is new. I wrote every dang word on that website. If you have a question or a bone to pick, go ahead and reach out to me. Or if you want to say, hey, good job, I'll take that too. So, but I am available. Top right corner of any button on the AnnuityStraightTalk.com. There's a button that says schedule a call. Click that, get on my calendar, or call me at 800-438-5121. I want to encourage everyone to like, subscribe, or comment on your favorite podcast platform. Share it with your friends, anybody you think could be in need of this information. Even if you have an advisor that you really like, but you think he doesn't know much about annuities. And this is kind of part of the topic today. Second opinion on annuities. This goes for consumers and advisors alike. I would say advisors are about a third of the people ask these questions. Believe it or not. Going back to when I started this website, those who know this, because I've said it many times, I had to go to a library to research annuities and figure out what they meant. Annuity Straight Talk was one of the first, definitely not the first, but the type of information that's here, there wasn't anything online. That's why I put it online. Anyway, so this is kind of like one of the things I offer, and I say this to a lot of people. If you're considering buying an annuity, or if you already own one, and you don't quite know what it's supposed to do, you know, the people who already own one, typically the guy took his commission and he doesn't service it, doesn't call back. You probably didn't know a whole lot in the first place, not a high quality advisor. Not like I talked about a couple weeks ago, made the money, skipped town, and you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, what the heck is this? That's what I'll do. That's my service offer to anyone out there, because this whole business is a service, and I don't get paid for, I say 90%, but it's really like 75% of the work I do is charitable. But I do it because that's my number one goal in this business. Number one is to help people. Number two is to make a living. And I can't put the second one before the first, because then my priorities would be in the wrong spot. If you do the right thing, those things will come to you. And that's the philosophy I adopted 20 years ago. There's opportunities for me everywhere. There's a ton of annuities being sold. I can't sell them all. That's why I help advisors too. I want to make sure things are done right and, you know, change the perspective or the opinions on annuities wherever possible. I'm blessed to be here, so that's why I'm generous with my time. If you ask me to evaluate someone for you, realize that as I get busier and busier, some days I don't have time to even eat lunch, breakfast. I do need to limit how much time I spend doing it. So those who have respect for my time, I appreciate that. And this is kind of a guide to say, all right, like, I'm not being a jerk about it, but don't bother me if you can answer the question for yourself. And I'm going to give you something to make that happen. So when you make an appointment with me, you get a chance to write down some notes and let me know ahead of time what you want to talk about. You know, just say, hey, I've got this annuity, or I'm getting ready to retire. I got a 401k, looking for lifetime income, or I'm tired of the stock market, whatever, stuff like that. Probably half the people that make appointments either have an annuity they don't understand or have been pitched a contract and want a second opinion. I've consistently demonstrated the fact that most of the people that sell these things do not conduct deep research in the market. So just about all of these people have only seen one thing. I talked to an advisor last week. She saw one of my podcasts. Oops, I think I'm about to put my client in the wrong spot. Do you have any advice for me? She's got a marketing organization that's really trying to push a product. So I've talked about that a fair bit. A lot of the times the products you see are pushed by someone who has no attachment to your situation, but they're going to make money anyway. It's a fair question to ask. Is the marketing organization like telling you this is what they want you to sell? And there's compensation behind all of it. So if you get an unrelated third party, I don't want to go too far into that, but if you get an unrelated third party that's got a stake in it, you better believe they're going to be looking out for their best interests. Anyway, so I helped her out, gave her some information. We spent maybe 10 minutes on the phone. Nice lady. Hope we talk again, you know. If you base your opinion about annuities on a single product, then you're dealing with someone who didn't do his or her job. First and foremost, you need to remember that an annuity is meant to alleviate concerns. Podcast newsletters, annuities are for protection. Annuities are not just for income. That's kind of stuff talks about the things you protect with annuities and what your purpose should be. I'm also trying to help people define their goals. I get a lot of people like, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. Well, do you need income? Maybe. Well, are you trying to protect assets? I don't know. Maybe. You have to decide what your goals are first. And a lot of this product first approach doesn't give you the time and the chance. So this is something, when we build a retirement plan, we're cultivating a relationship and trying to discover some things. I've told a lot of people over time, I've said it publicly, I'd be better with a psychology degree than a finance degree. So advisors and consumers, oops, I scrolled down too far, come to me for advice. It's not because I'm the only one who knows these things, but I do approach it like nobody else. And so far as I know, I'm the only one online doing it. You give me any other website, I'll tell you what their pitch is and their focus. There's product review websites. There's websites that pretend to be nonprofit and hey, but they're trying to sell too, right? I'll come around and say I sell annuities for a living, but I want to make sure I'm educating you. If you buy it from me, you're going to know dang well what you have. But I take it's goals first because I take what I know about the industry and I try to compress that down into one simple question. What are you trying to do? Some people want to get out of an annuity. Others are trying to decide if they should get into one. So we can certainly divide the group into those who have an annuity, those who don't, or an advisor who's wondering if they should sell one. A lot of people that already have one don't understand it. Anyone looking for an annuity wants to avoid the same fate. Now, I'll say, as far as not understanding an annuity you own, I consistently say it's pretty typical for me to do a review 3 to 6 months after they bought an annuity, and definitely at the anniversary date. And it takes a while to remember things. We're all getting older. Some things don't stick in our brain like they used to. So it's not uncommon. It's not a bad thing if you're like, hey, I kind of forgot what this is all about. But if you don't have contact with your advisor or he's lying to you, then you're in a bad spot. So this, the newsletter, the podcast, this kind of stuff, it's a marketing tool. And it's a way for me to compress my time. So I'm trying to do that here a little bit as well. I don't have time to talk to everyone, but I can help everyone. You have to consume the information elsewhere. You have to be able to help yourself. I want empowered, free-thinking, strong-willed, independent people to figure this out. It's a lot of money we're talking about here. It deserves a little bit of time. Okay. So there's 3 questions you're going to ask yourself about it. This is on the newsletter if you want to read it. Whether you own it or thinking about buying it. Number 1, do you understand the contract? What is the purpose of it? Is it for income? Is it for protection and accumulation? Does it have a bonus? What does the bonus mean? Is there a vesting schedule? Did they disclose that to you? Is it a true bonus or is it an income enhancement bonus? All that stuff. You're going to trip up a ton of salespeople if you simply learn a few of these things and start asking them these questions. I hear from people all the time. Guy was trying to sell me this. I saw your podcast. I read about it, asked him some questions. He got defensive. That's what they do a lot of times. Incredulous. How could you question me, right? Do you understand the contract? Number 1. If so, number 2, do you believe the contract will help you meet your goals? If I'm 5 minutes into a conversation with someone, I haven't determined what their goals are. If I'm not selling it to them, it wasn't my job to determine goals and put them in the right place. So I'm just saying, do you believe it's going to meet your goals, right? Because this is a 5 to 7 minute phone conversation, the whole thing. And if the answer is yes, great. Did you define your goals? And if it's income or accumulation or asset protection or fee reduction or any of those things, does this appropriately address your concerns? And if the answer is yes, so you understand the contract, you believe it meets your goals. And number 3, is there mutual respect and trust between you and the person you're working with? Do you believe this person? Can you see yourself working with them on a Saturday afternoon when you really need something done? We did a withdrawal for a client of mine last week, and I pushed on it to make sure they got their money in 3 days. It was a surrender, poor health situation, or an illness, bad timing, another deal I got to take. It was surrender free. The money was out. Big distribution, 3 days, including the weekend because it started last Friday. Mutual respect and trust. Is it someone you can work with? Is somebody going to be there to help you out? And I can't do that for everybody on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday. But you need to have somebody who's willing to do it. And I certainly can get to it soon if that's not the case. So if you understand the contract, know it will meet your goals, and you like the person who showed it to you, then why would you even ask me, right? I mean, I get people coming in like, well, that's not what he said. Like they defend the guy who lied to them. Go ahead. I don't even care anymore. Like there's the newsletter. I don't care if you buy an annuity. Don't buy it if it changes my life. Buy it if it changes yours. If it makes you sleep at night. Now, a lot of times I'll look at it and be like, well, it's not my favorite. That's not what I would do, but it's okay. That's fair. We all have our own opinions. I love it. Like some of these companies that are, so. Again, I'm not saying anything bad. What do you think about this company? I'm like, that's not my first choice. But you don't have to take my word for it. If you like the guy and he says, go with this company, I'll tell you if it's a big red flag for sure. A lot of the situations where I've proposed something that I thought to be a better idea, the person I'm talking to didn't take my recommendation. So I'm not going to waste my time. I can do this in a 5 to 7 minute phone conversation, right? Before I was doing it in 30 minutes. Because I was trying to convince them, no, you need to go this route. I'm not going to do that anymore. It's up to you. It's your money. 23 to 25 minutes is worth a lot to me, okay? That's lunch. That's a quick nap. That's some paperwork. That's a service call. That's the little things that I can get done so that I can get out of here and go enjoy my life, which I'm about to do right now. If I give you a solid reason why you shouldn't buy something, don't complain to me when it doesn't work out. Colorado Bankers Life was a big one. Fixed annuities about 5 years ago. 4%. Nobody else was over 3.25%. I looked at that new company, scratched my head. I don't think so. I'm not doing that. I say that to a lot of people. These rate shopping websites, they always have the top rate. A lot of them with companies that I don't really like. And they're probably just fine. But again, I don't have the time to chase that. And I certainly don't want to. When I told about a dozen people I'm not going to sell Colorado Bankers Life, half of them came back to me 2 years later when the company got put into receivership and says, what do I do now? Like, I'm not contracted. I don't know him. I'm not even going to try. Call the guy who sold it to you. Well, he won't answer his phone. Okay. I make recommendations I can live with. That's happened a lot. So I'm not going to lie to you at all. And I'll tell you if there's a better deal, but I'll also tell you, hey, if it's okay, you like the guy, cool, right? Hey, that steak was really good. He seems like a great guy. All right. Well, just know he's doing 30 people a week. If a contract works for you, then you don't need my advice. This is trying to help everyone figure it out. You got to stand on your own 2 feet. If I tell you it doesn't, I think you should listen to me, but there's a lot of people that don't. I'm not here to make $1 off of everyone that comes looking for information. Most people I meet know next to nothing about annuities. That includes those who already own one. You should almost, like, this goes into people who haven't almost never surrender a contract early. And if you have doubts about when you're ready to buy, then go ahead and ask me. If someone tells you something contrary to what I'm telling you, they're probably wrong and you should call me. Give me a second chance. Chances are I'll tell you what's written above or anywhere else on the website. So anyway, this is a quick one. I appreciate your guys' time. Hope everybody enjoyed the holiday. Episode 95, Second Opinion on Annuities. My name is Bryan Anderson. I'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe, or comment on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube. Share it with your friends. Get it out there. Help me out a little bit. Return the favor. I know that a lot of people really appreciate this. And if you don't like it, then tell me. That's how I get better, right? I'm trying to be the best I can be at this. You can schedule a call on the top right corner of any page on AnnuityStraightTalk.com. Or give me a call at 800-438-5121. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I'll be back next week for episode 96. Have a great day. Okay, bye.
You have been listening to Annuity Straight Talk. The preceding information is for informational and educational purposes only and does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. The views expressed by guests on this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Annuity Straight Talk or its partners. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. It is important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the insurance company.